welcome to this week's edition of World Today. This week, we'll focus on how cartographic changes have become the new diplomatic tool for countries in South Asia to take on India, the newest being Pakistan. But wonder where they're learning these antics from. From a country that is known to change history to claim territory in land and in water, China. Prime Minister Imran Khan announced a new political map for Pakistan. Domestic compulsions or following the footsteps of Beijing? Whatever the reason, there are a few fundamentals that Islamabad has walked back on, for which they may have to pay dearly.
ये जो नक्शा है जो हम पाकिस्तान का political map दुनिया के सामने लेके आ रहे हैं.
This political map of Pakistan, which we are unveiling to the world, firstly represents the desires of the Pakistani people and the principal stance of the people of Kashmir, and it rejects the illegal step India took on August 5 last year in Kashmir.
That's right. This new map represents the desires of the Pakistani people, not the Kashmiris. Kashmiris are now questioning the support that was extended to them by Pakistan in their long struggle for Azadi. Was it for real, or have the true intentions of Pakistan now been exposed?
Pakistan's new assertion with the political map being taken out is something that does not really go down well with most people and organizations asking for separatism in Kashmir for decades altogether, because most of those people have been talking about an idea of an independent Kashmir. Most organizations who have been advocating separatism and separatist ideologies have been talking about an independent, self-determining Kashmir, and that's something that is poles apart from this strategy that Pakistan seems to have adopted now.
The new map of Pakistan not only includes the erstwhile entire Jammu and Kashmir region, which includes Gilgit-Baltistan, but also has incorporated the areas of Junagadh and Sir Creek in Gujarat. By adding Gilgit-Baltistan to these areas, Pakistan has accepted that this was never a part of their territory, that it was always a part of undivided Jammu and Kashmir. Pakistan has done exactly what it accuses India of doing in Jammu and Kashmir with the revocation of its special status, changed the demography. While India has done no such thing, Pakistan has changed the demography of Gilgit-Baltistan, flooding it with people from the Punjab and rendering the real inhabitants a minority. The massive protest that we witness time and again from there is a testimony to the vicious plans of Rawalpindi, the military establishment. Now here's a little backstory. There are a few key aspects to the entire debate by Pakistan: UNSC resolution, instrument of accession, and plebiscite or referendum. Let me take you through each aspect one at a time. The United Nations Security Council Resolution 39, adopted on January 20th, 1948, offered to assist in the peaceful resolution of the Kashmir conflict by setting up a commission of 3 members, one to be chosen by India, one by Pakistan, and the third to be chosen by 2 members of the commission. UNSC Resolution of 47, adopted on 21st April 1948, increased the size of the commission to 5 members, with representatives from Argentina, Belgium, Colombia, Czechoslovakia, and the United States. They were instructed to go to prepare for a plebiscite to decide the fate of Kashmir in a 3-step process. First, Pakistan was asked to withdraw all its nationals, which meant Pak raiders and forces too, that entered Kashmir for the sake of fighting. Second, India was asked to reduce its forces to minimum level required for law and order. Reduce, not withdraw completely. Third, India was asked to appoint a plebiscite administrator nominated by the United Nations who would conduct a free and impartial plebiscite in Jammu and Kashmir. The resolution was adopted paragraph by paragraph. No vote on the resolution as a whole was taken. Both India and Pakistan raised objections to the UNSC resolution. However, they agreed to mediation by the UN Commission back then.
The reality is, you go back in time, 1940s, Jinnah himself, the founder of Pakistan, was quite reluctant to go for a plebiscite in the part that Pakistan had occupied, what we call POK today. Because at that time, Sheikh Abdullah was the most popular leader in Kashmir Valley, and his sympathies lay with India at that time. So Pakistan is very opportunistic. They keep crying hoarse about a plebiscite and referendum all the time, but they know they have re-engineered the demography in POK now. There are more Punjabi Muslims there than Kashmiris. So they want plebiscite because that's a means by which they can try and apply pressure for change in Kashmir and for it to secede and to join Pakistan.
So what did Pakistan do? It invested in anti-India forces within Kashmir and extended their support to the cause of Azadi. But of course, now the valley is waking up to those shenanigans as well. So the plebiscite in Kashmir is pending because Pakistan still has military presence in Pakistan-occupied Kashmir. The story since has moved forward with both sides recognizing and signing the Shimla Agreement of 1972 and the Lahore Declaration of 1999 that was based on bilaterally resolving the outstanding issues between the two countries.
It has been India's consistent position that all outstanding issues with Pakistan are discussed only bilaterally. I would further underline that any engagement with Pakistan would require an end to cross-border terrorism. Sir, let me conclude by emphasizing that the Shimla Agreement and the Lahore Declaration provide the basis to resolve all issues between India and Pakistan bilaterally.
Let's shift focus to the other big move by Pakistan, inclusion of Junagadh in the Pakistani political map. It belies Jinnah's own belief that Hindus and Muslims cannot live together, the premise for which Pakistan was created in the first place. Then why is it that Pakistan has now included a predominantly Hindu area into its territory? Pakistan claims that India does not recognize the instrument of accession signed by the Nawab of Junagadh, Muhammad Mohabbat Khanji III, acceding territory to Pakistan on 15 September 1947. India indeed did not accept it. Instead, a plebiscite was held, conducted in December of the same year, in which approximately 99.95% of the people chose India over Pakistan. There were 1,90,870 voters who polled out of a total of 2,569, of which 1,90,779 voted for India and 91 voted for Pakistan. In fact, then Foreign Minister of Pakistan Zafrullah Khan admitted that the government of India had insisted that this question should be decided by a plebiscite. He also admitted that it is unlikely that the fairest plebiscite in Junagadh would result in the people of Junagadh deciding to accede to Pakistan, and I myself concede that as unlikely, unquote. The other issue that Pakistan keeps harping on is Article 370 of the Indian Constitution. But what is to be noted is that the special status to Jammu and Kashmir was accorded in the year 1954, much after partition or even the UNSC resolutions. When Pakistan did not say anything on the formulation of the article, don't think it can say much now on its revocation. With China in the mix, internationalizing the issue of Kashmir is the only tool in Pakistan's diplomatic playbook on Kashmir. The only real solution to the problem of Kashmir is to recognize that it is a bilateral issue and for both sides to come to the talking table with real intent to seek solutions. An Indian journalist was witness to Tuesday's massive explosion in Beirut that left half the Lebanese capital in ruins. Here's Achal Vohra's account on how the city is struggling to stand back on its feet.
Apocalyptic. A giant red cloud. A massive explosion. And half of Beirut sits in ruins. An An explosion so strong it registered a 3.3 magnitude earthquake and felt hundreds of kilometers away in Cyprus. Journalist Achal Vora lived over just a mile from the harbour, the hardest hit Christian-dominated West Beirut neighbourhood. She was watching Netflix when a deafening boom swung across. A blast of wind tossed her to the other side.
This is my house. This is my house. Oh. Have a look at that street. Have a look at that street. Everything in the house is gone. We've lost everything. And everyone's lost everything, it seems. We don't know how many casualties there are yet. I haven't managed to find my work permit. We've somehow managed to find our passports. Everyone needs to leave. Oh my God, Lebanon was going through so much already. People barely have enough money to buy food.
Hell shattered the calm. At least 100 people dead and 400 injured in its wake. The source of the explosion has been traced to a warehouse storing ammonium nitrate, a highly explosive material used as a farm fertilizer. The cause of the ignition is not yet known. A mourning Lebanon is providing support for the victims.
We're trying to getting the water, anything that can happen. There are some people which are injured because the buildings are somehow cracked and the stones are falling down, so people are getting injured because they're staying underneath the buildings.
The explosion came at a difficult time. Lebanon is hit by its worst economic meltdown since the 1975-1990 civil war. COVID cases are also on the rise. Public unrest growing over poverty and hunger. The devastating blast has pushed Lebanon to the brink. Meanwhile, the Indian ambassador Dr. Suhail Ejaz Khan has met Indian expats and assessed the situation.
This is our street, Shara Jumaze in West Beirut. That was our cafe, Cortado. It's all gone, it's all gone. That's our building there, our house on third floor. Everything gone now. A lot of volunteers, Lebanese men and women, boys and girls now on the streets. They're clearing up crushed glass, they're clearing up the debris on their own. Red Cross's office is right here. Again, young people volunteering, trying to provide first aid. We've still been told that a lot of people are still buried under the debris in houses here.
A frantic search for survivors through mangled steel, shattered glass and mounds of blood-stained debris. With Achal Vora in Beirut, Bureau Report, India Today.
Hi everyone, Preeti Chaudhary here. Hope you like this video. For latest news and analysis, like and subscribe to the India Today YouTube channel. And don't forget to press the bell icon to stay updated. Thank you for watching.